teachers take on the province.
I think that is a priceless fight that our members are willing to take.
The costly legal battle against Bill 2 arrives. Hitting the hills early.
It's been fun. It's good to get back on the hill.
Alberta ski resorts open up as others around the world wait for the snow.
Other than Utah in North America, you're the most climate resilient.
And hopping on the holiday train. The tradition takes off from Calgary to start its 6-week journey.
CTV Calgary, local breaking news with Jordan Cannigan.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. Alberta teachers are ready to take the province to court. It was expected after teachers were legislated back to work with the rejected deal last week. Teachers and union leaders have been vocal about the government's use of the notwithstanding clause, many calling it unconstitutional. As Stephanie Thomas reports, this court filing isn't the only thing bubbling up in the labor movement.
After more than a week of considering its options, the Alberta Teachers Association is challenging the provincial government in court.
We realize that this is an uphill battle and that it will cost us. But what is the price of freedoms?
First, an interlocutory injunction filed Thursday in Edmonton asked the court to pause Bill 2, the legislation that ended the 3-week province-wide strike. The second part of the action asks a judge to declare use of the notwithstanding clause to pass the bill improper and ultimately a violation of the charter-protected freedoms of assembly and expression. The ATA says it's received support and donations for a costly legal fight.
And we will continue to accept donations from other organizations if they see it's a value for them to be involved in this fight. And we will welcome that because, like I said, this is everyone's fight.
One constitutional law expert says a win would send a strong message.
That these notwithstanding clauses, yes, they are legitimate in certain situations, but when they are being used illegitimately, there is a right to stand against it.
The Alberta Federation of Labour says it's surveying for support for a general walkout in a text message fan-out. AFL President Gil McGowan says almost 10,000 respondents support a general strike to oppose the UCP's attacks on worker rights.
Well, frankly, they forced us to consider something outside of the confines of the law because they've made a mockery of the law as it is.
As there are various contracts in the bargaining process with the province, one Labour economics professor doubts the Labour movement will gain traction.
At most, it's a signature campaign at this point. I mean, people are dying on the planet, and their form of war is collecting signatures. These are not the same thing.
The NDP opposition says the government has the power to calm tension raised by organized labor groups.
The job action does not drag on forever. It is something that can be resolved if the government is willing to come to the table and negotiate in good faith.
In a statement, the province says it will defend its position vigorously in court. The case will be heard on November 20th. Stephanie Thomas, CTV News, Calgary.
And the Alberta Federation of Labour says it will apply for intervener status with the ATA's legal challenge. A Conservative MP from Alberta has quit the party. Matt Genereux has represented Edmonton Riverbend for 10 years. He says he is not crossing the floor to join the Liberals and plans to step down in the spring. In the statement, Genereux does not elaborate on why he's resigning, but says he hopes to have the opportunity to address the House one final time in the future. It's another blow for the Conservative Party. On Tuesday, an MP from Nova Scotia crossed the floor to join the Liberals. In a statement, Pierre Poilievre thanking Genereux for his service and wished him well. Police in Hawaii have charged a Calgary man with first-degree sex assault of a minor he met online. Prosecutors allege 21-year-old Einreb Jean Pasaquin Dyson met the girl online and traveled to the island to meet up with her in person. Investigators say the man met the 14-year-old through the online game Roblox. Dyson allegedly arrived in Hawaii 2 weeks ago and met the teen at several Airbnbs. He was charged with the Class A felony earlier this week and is being held on $250,000 bail.
It's very concerning, not just as a police officer, but also as a parent, in the day and age that we live in now, access, to underage children for, adults who might have bad intentions, it's so easy, it's so easy to make contact with them.
Police say it was the parents of the victim who reported the assaults, and the police were able to make the arrest before the accused flew back to Calgary. If convicted of first-degree sex assault, the Calgary man could face up to 20 years in prison. Well, the city of Calgary is sharing new stats from its downtown blitz on Wednesday. During Operation Order, officers attended more than 200 calls with a variety of weapons, drugs, and drug paraphernalia seized. 25 people were charged with a total of 40 offenses. That includes 2 people linked to an ongoing investigation into the theft of $20,000 worth of collectibles. Bring in Danielle now for a first look at weather, and it was a warm and windy one out there today. Yeah. Can we expect the same going forward?
Would you take the warm with the windy?
It was a nice trade-off, wasn't it?
I think so.
Yeah.
It's different from what we're getting tomorrow. So tomorrow will be cool, less windy, but we are looking at cloud cover, the chance of rainfall, snowfall, and even freezing rain. Because we're going to be hovering around that freezing mark in the morning hours, we may get a little bit of everything. Now, this should be fairly light in nature, and it will be isolated. Some neighborhoods in the city will get it, other neighborhoods won't. But it will be on and off right through the morning and through the early afternoon, and then it moves its way out. You're just looking at a high of 6 for tomorrow. Your full forecast is just ahead.
Thank you, Danielle. Well, it may not feel like it in Calgary, but winter has arrived in the mountains. Some ski hills opening this past week earlier than originally planned for the season. It comes as resorts around the world contend with rising costs and climate change. But as Terry Fikowski reports, Alberta seems well positioned to weather the challenges.
There may only be one lift running so far at Lake Louise, but it's more than enough for eager skiers and boarders.
I love it. It's fantastic. Just good to be out on the snow.
I was really excited. I've been counting the days down.
Snowfall in the mountains also helped Sunshine open first in Canada, which marked the resort's earliest start since keeping records.
I hope to see a lot of powder.
Last season was a pretty hot season. There wasn't a lot of snow. Hopefully this year.
Research shows ski seasons are slowly shrinking around the globe due to the effects of climate change, a topic of conversation at a Protect Our Winters event in Canmore on Thursday. But this expert says the Rockies are built to last.
Alberta is well positioned, certainly in North America, but even around the world, as one of the most climate resilient ski markets. You've got the blessings of elevation that you can see in the background. You've got cold, you've got dry, you're well away from marine climates.
As ski and boarders keep their fingers crossed for a good snow season, one of the major challenges facing ski hills is the increasing cost to operate.
Everything from steel to equipment that we purchase, capital needs, to insurance, everything has gotten drastically more expensive.
Still, the industry is seeing record levels of capital investment.
We've built 4 lifts in the last 5 seasons, and we have another one coming online mid-December, is now it's looking like, and that's new lift and terrain on the backside on Richardson's Ridge.
The higher costs get passed on to ticket holders, which will set adults back $175 a day in peak season here at Louise, though not enough to keep the diehards away.
It sucks, it costs more money, but it's a sport I love.
I think it's definitely worth it.
I live in a cardboard box before I don't come back here.
Terry Fikowski, CTV News, Lake Louise.
Mount Norquay is opening for a sneak peek this weekend before its official opening next weekend, marking the hill's 100th year in operation. Well, this year is the 80th anniversary of Victory in Europe Day, and today in Calgary there was a ceremony to mark the event. Here are the impressive rows of crosses along Memorial Drive tonight. Earlier today, dozens of people joined veterans and members of the armed forces to commemorate the end of the Second World War in Europe. As Tim Brooke explains, it was an emotional event, but there was a message of hope.
As the sun prepared to come out over Calgary Thursday, a look back.
Today we're here at the Field of Crosses and we're honoring the 80th anniversary of the Victory in Europe, which is kind of the end of the war.
Victory in Europe Day happened in May 1945. The field, which often hosts large gatherings in the lead up to Remembrance Day, wanted to mark the monumental occasion again.
And they had so many dreams and hopes, and they gave all of them up to fight in a land far from home.
Romances and meals and dinners and travel, they never had that part of life, and that's why it's so emotional.
Canadians and Allied soldiers accepted the surrender of German forces 80 years ago in the Netherlands. The Dutch still think fondly of Canadians, thanking them for the sacrifice to protect the country and its people.
It's just wonderful to see, and wonderful that we're teaching the youth about this past, but about why we can come here and celebrate in the middle of our city.
And remembering means passing stories like Victory in Europe Day on to the next generation.
Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. It felt really good to remember those who fought before us.
The Field of Crosses will host flag ceremonies at sunrise and sunset every day through to November 11th.
And I would just encourage everybody to come down and just take a look and just feel that peace, but that power as well that's down here.
Tim Brook, CTV News, Calgary.
On November 11th, CTV Calgary will bring you the Remembrance Day service live from the Hangar Flight Museum on TV and online beginning at 10:30 a.m. Still to come, frontline healthcare workers near their breaking point. The burnout concerns as the opioid crisis continues with little support from the system. That's next.
You're watching CTV News, Calgary.
Alberta's United Conservatives are calling on the NDP to apologize for statements made by one of its members in the legislature.
In 1946, German pastor Martin Niemöller wrote a now famous poem, and I quote, "First they came for the communists, and I did not speak out because I was not a communist. Then they came for the Jews, and I did not speak out because I was not a Jew." And it continues. In today's Alberta, we could say, first they came for the teachers, and I did not speak out because I was not a teacher. I could go on, Mr. Speaker, but I think I've made my point. Who is next? Who will be targeted by the UCP to lose their rights?
That's the NDP's Lori Sigerson making a member statement on Wednesday. The UCP says she's making a comparison between the Holocaust to the province's use of the notwithstanding clause.
This comparison was appalling, offensive, and beneath the dignity of this legislature. It is not only historically inaccurate, but morally indefensible.
The UCP is calling on NDP leader Naheed Nenshi to condemn the comments. Alberta's drug toxicity crisis is pushing frontline healthcare workers to a breaking point. That's according to a new report suggesting paramedics and emergency staff are suffering burnout, facing violence, and a system that's failing them. Mark Villani has more.
The lights are on, but nobody's home. First responders and healthcare workers say they're being pushed to the absolute brink.
We had more than one person said they're spending over a third of their paycheck on therapy.
A new Parkland Institute report from the University of Alberta surveyed more than 500 Alberta healthcare workers, and nearly 70% say the drug toxicity crisis is causing burnout. Workers say their careers are at risk as they face more violence on the job.
Healthcare professionals are not getting the education and training they need.
Nationwide, drug poisonings each day account for an average 67 emergency department responses and 99 ambulance calls. Speaking to CTV News anonymously out of fear for losing their job, one Calgary paramedic called dispatch a nightmare.
We're just being run into the ground and nobody seems to care.
FOIP documents show thousands of orange alerts this summer with fewer than 3 ambulances available in Calgary or Edmonton. Meanwhile, thousands of other calls are pending, meaning no ambulances could respond. Staffing is also low. Some night shifts went less than 60% filled.
With pressure like that, no wonder paramedics logged 8,000 sick hours per month in Calgary from March to June.
That means long response times across the city, or bringing in rural ambulances to do the calls from outside of the city.
You just know you're not going to stop all night.
But the province says things are improving. Drug poisoning deaths are down more than 35% since 2023. The UCP government says it has 4 new recovery communities and another 7 on the way. Its recently passed compassion intervention legislation also aims to provide more support.
We can't actually control how that person's going to live their lives.
but we can offer meaningful tools, meaningful supports.
If we can do things differently for people with addictions, your wait times will be shorter in the emergency department and for ambulances.
Mark Villani, CTV News, Calgary.
For a complete look at the Parkland Institute report, you can visit our CTV Calgary website. Well, the Calgary Fire Department showing off a valuable new asset today, one that's capable of detecting potential arson much faster than any human. Jacqueline Wilson reports.
This nose knows. Meet Titus. This 2-year-old American Field Labrador is the Calgary Fire Department's newest ignitable liquid detection canine.
Where there may be a suspicion of an accelerant being used, Titus can detect an ignitable liquid in minutes where current technology could take hours or even longer. His precise detection helps confirm or rule out accelerant use, which is critical for identifying potential arson, ensuring public safety, and supporting our fire investigations team.
Titus is the CFD's 5th fire investigation dog since 1991, but the only one working. His skills were showcased at Fire Station 39 on Thursday. He started training at just 8 weeks old and joined CFD in March, working alongside handler Brad Brooks, who has been a Calgary firefighter for 18 years. So far, Titus's incredible nose and skills have helped with over 30 cases.
One drop of gasoline is 50 microliters. So canines like Titus can detect down to 0.2 microliters. So that's about 250 times less. And it really helps us as investigators come to some conclusions and help the arson side as well.
Brooks says Titus doesn't like baths, but has one after every visit to the scene of a fire. His favorite treats are chicken and hot dogs, and he's a very good boy. Jacqueline Wilson, CTV News, Calgary.
Well, if you want to meet Titus, he and Brooks will be at the Central Library at 11 a.m. on November 27th. Well, a pretty nice day today, albeit a little bit windy. Could be wet tomorrow, though. Danielle will have more in her full Skywatch forecast next.
Well, today was a toasty one. We got up to 14 degrees in the city today. That came at a bit of a price. It was a bit of a windy day. Those winds, that Chinook wind out of the west, is what boosted up our temperatures. We had Enchant, Alberta, was one of the warmest spots in the country earlier today. So you can see all that warmth in Alberta, in southern Saskatchewan, outside of that, much cooler out east and close to our temperatures. Victoria, Vancouver got to 12 today. There's a look at the gusts, and of course gustier in this corridor. So Pincher Creek, just over 60 kilometers per hour. That was the maximum wind gust today. Over 70 in Lethbridge and over 60 in Medicine Hat. This corridor will be gusty through tonight and tomorrow. 60 to 70 kilometer per hour gusts continuing. In Calgary, we were over 40. Brooks closer to that 40 mark. These areas will calm down with regards to the wind tomorrow. But we are looking at another system rolling in that will provide that mixed precipitation. If you look at the temperature profile from the surface and just above the surface, it will range from about -1 to +3 in the morning hours, which is why we're looking at this mixed precipitation, rain, freezing rain, and even snowflakes possible as this moves its way in. Now, the moisture will be heavier on the BC side. The mountains will eat up some of that moisture, but some of it will spill over here. I'm going to give you an idea of the first wave. The first wave arrives around 4 or 5 in the morning, and you can see that mixed precipitation in that. And then that's really should be light, short-lived. But then this system, as it tracks off to the east, will start to intensify. It will pull in some cooler air and may even be heavy by the time it makes its way over to the Medicine Hat area. You can see the greens, the pinks, the whites. That's rain, freezing rain, and snow all mixed in. So in some neighborhoods, we may even have slick conditions on the sidewalks and on the streets for a little bit. We will warm up above freezing later in the afternoon, but for the morning, that mixed precip will continue on and off, and for the city right up until about 3 in the afternoon, and then it will clear out and make its way east. That sets us up for sunshine as we head into the weekend, though. So the weekend, temperatures will start to climb. 6 degrees for tomorrow. Again, rain, freezing rain, and even snowflakes possible. Winds calm, though. 7 degrees by Saturday. The clouds will start to clear out on Saturday. All sunshine on Sunday, and check that out, 13 degrees, 14. So we remain in the teens for Monday, and still fairly warm for this time of year as we get into Tuesday, Remembrance Day. So heading out to ceremonies in the morning hours, we should be above that freezing mark, and by the afternoon, a high in the double digits.
Thank you, Danielle. All aboard a holiday tradition. The holiday train rolls out of Calgary to start its 6-week trip. Well, the holiday train has become a tradition for many families in North America. Today, the train left Calgary on its way to Montreal, where it will be then split in two. One will head south to New Orleans. The second will head back west to Vancouver. CPKC says the goal of the trains is to get people into the Christmas spirit, but it's also a major boost for local food banks. Kevin Fleming reports.
It's primed and ready for its 6-week trip. The holiday train is based in Calgary at CPKC's corporate headquarters, where crews get everything ready for its festive journey.
It started back in 1999, so we're rolling into our 27th year. It was, derived as a concept of a way to give back to communities where we operate, and how do we make a difference by, fighting food insecurity.
The train consists of 30 cars that will be split into two once it arrives in Montreal. It's hard to see in the daylight, but the boxcars have Christmas-themed light designs on them that shine bright at night.
We actually change out the light displays on the boxcars every 2 years. So we'll do a new light display, and that train will go across Canada, and then the next year we shift that train to the United States and redo the lights for the Canadian train, so that every year you come to see the train, there's going to be something new to see.
Peter Boyle says the trains host a variety of artists in a boxcar where the side drops down to create a stage.
When the stage comes down, the kids will come up around the stage and they're waving, they're singing the Christmas carols, and it's just so much fun. And for us anyways, I find the kids, Christmas and kids is great.
So it's really a credit to these artists as well, that they're willing to come and live on the train for 7 to 10 days and do between 4 and 6 shows a day, because it's kind of a grind for them.
Justin Tracy made his first holiday train trip in 2008, and it's now become his Christmas tradition.
It's for a great cause, but, when folks can come out with their families and enjoy a concert, enjoy giving back to the community like this, I don't think there's a better tool.
The two trains begin their month-long journeys on November 19th. The Canadian train is scheduled to stop in Calgary December 12th. Kevin Fleming, CTV News, Calgary.
And we've posted more information on our website about the list of entertainers and the stops the train will be making. That does it for our show this evening. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you back here tomorrow.